Hi, and welcome to the farm. Today we're going to be putting on some bee escapes underneath our honey supers so we can get the bees out of there and get ready to harvest that honey. I'm a little late on this. Most of my friends in the beekeeping community have already harvested their honey some 2 weeks ago. So I'm a little behind, and it is starting to rain. Thank God we've needed this rain so bad, but I've got to get this done. So let's get suited up and get in there. Before we get started, let's talk about what is a bee escape, how does it work, and why I think that this model is probably the best. I've already shot this video once, but in editing I didn't like this portion, so I'm going back and doing it again. A bee escape works like a fish trap or any other one-way device for an animal. It creates a path so that the bee can go one way, but not the other. This sits between two boxes of bees, like this, that side down, and allows for bees to travel down, but not up. And so they can go out through these passageways, but not back through. The most common type of bee escape is the oval bee escape. I don't have one, I've gotten rid of all mine, but the way they work is by snapping into the oval hole of your inner cover or inner lid. This has the advantage of enabling you to reuse a piece of hardware that you already have, and it's probably cheaper because of that. And they're plastic and mass produced, but also storing them. I mean, you're going to keep this in your hive anyway, so you only have to store the little bitty piece that goes in the middle. Now, I don't know the exact diameter of the hole for the bee passage in the oval bee escape, but I do know the hole that the whole escape has to fit into is 2 7/16. So it's about the diameter of a US nickel. The triangular bee escape, however, the hole on it is a diameter of 2 inches, or about 51 millimeters for the metric inclined. The oval bee escape, the air also has to travel the same bent path that the bee has to travel to get from one side to the other. Whereas with the triangular bee escape, the air goes straight through the screen wire on the other side. The combination of the larger opening and the straight path for air enables better airflow between the chambers, which means that you get better drying of your honey, and also the queen's pheromones penetrate those upper chambers much better. Also, the triangular bee escape can only accommodate one bee at a time, whereas the triangular bee escape can accommodate several at a time. Now, this is called a double triangle. I think the single triangle is probably just as good. I use the double triangle though because that was available when I was purchasing. But there's the single triangle, the double triangle, and then the vortex triangle, and some others as well. My conclusion is, if you can afford the triangle bee escape, if you can store the triangle bee escape, then use the triangle bee escape. Today I have two objectives, not just putting on a bee escape, but also I want to see if there are any drones left in my hives. If there are, and if these two hives are strong enough, I'm going to try to make two splits today. The reason is, as you can see in my last video, my last split died. And I really would like to have a couple more hives to go into summer with. To go into winter with. All right, without further ado, let's see what's inside. Ooh, nice. This is robber bees or some other pest was trying to come in and get their honey. Oh yes, nice capped honey. Yep, slam full. Not completely capped off. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they would have time to fill this one out or not. I may harvest this purely for feeder honey. Oh man, this sucker's heavy. So you probably can't see this on camera, but all I'm doing is scraping the propolis off because I'm flipping this inner lid back over. It was with this side down like this so that it has the upper ventilation hole exposed. And I'm going to be flipping it over to remove that because there will be fewer bees up here to guard that entrance. Okay, let's go over to our next hive. This hive only has the one super on it, so it should be a little bit easier. But it does not have a screen bottom board, so I can't really smoke it effectively from underneath. Starting up here on the edge. We can pull our end frame. Oh, that was coming apart. Okay, let's try the other side. A lot of honey in that frame. Good. Capped brood. Capped brood, some uncapped brood. Very nice. Don't see any drones at all. Now let's go back and check the one on the end that had all the honey in it, because drones, they like to eat. I don't see any drones. Nope, I suspect that swarm season / mating season is over for the bee community in my neighborhood. Nice calm bees though. Lots of brood. Lots of bees, no drones. Come on, nice and easy. And just a little bit of drone brood over here, not much. So I am not going to make a split. I will call around some of the queen producers in the area, see if anybody has any queens for sale. I may make a couple of splits if I can buy a queen. But beyond that, no, it's too much of a risk. All right, well, that was quite informative. I'm actually going to leave that queen excluder off. I should have on the other one as well. Queen's like any other bee. She's not going to make it through there anyway. All right, tomorrow's harvest day. For this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe in a future video I'll show harvesting the honey, maybe even making a split with an existing queen or / purchased queen in my case. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit that like button, and always, thanks for joining me on the farm.